Good evening, folks. It's been a few days, but I was able to get back and get some more dual Destinies in. Last time I think we left off, we were at the beginning of Case 4, but which got kind of interrupted by a big explosion. And presumably we're going to go back and revisit that case now? I would imagine so. I mean, by the fact that it still says Episode 4 and not Episode 5. In the middle of the Space Center bombing trial, we had another bombing incident. This one destroyed courtroom number 4. One second. Furthermore, Apollo suffered massive injuries from being there when the bomb went off. I mean, it looked like his arms got messed up, but fortunately, Juniper Woods was fingered as the courtroom bomber. Athena and I knew she had to be innocent, so we took her case on. We managed to clear Mrs. Wood's name. But Apollo sustained further injuries when he was attacked by Ted Tenate. Apollo is a tough guy, but this is taking its toll on him. Yeah, poor guy, being attacked by Tenate like that on top of all his other injuries. Apollo is resting at the nearby Hickfield Clinic. I've had some experience with that place myself. What an awful turn of events. I never thought he'd land in a hospital of all places. You must miss him too, huh? Now that you don't have anybody to tease. Don't worry, he's young. He'll heal quickly and be back before you know it. It's been a while since I last saw Trucy look so down. We won the court case, yet nobody feels much like celebrating. Alright, enough of this, people. It's no time to be moping around. Now dry those eyes, both of you. You're the only one who's crying, Athena. Technicalities. Look, we have work to do. We have to take over. Take over what exactly? Apollo's Space Center case, of course. As no verdict's been reached, there's still a chance. I agree with Athena. We should pick up Mr. Starbuck's defense. We have to avenge our fallen comrade. Right, Daddy? Apollo hasn't exactly fallen. He's still alive, you know. Oh, hello, Delphine. No. Okay, you can sit there. Good. Now that's settled. Let's get going. Come on, we gotta run. Wait, right now? Better not be running the whole way. There she goes. Better go catch up. Can you take care of the office, Trucy? Sure thing, Daddy. Let's be careful out there. In the meantime, I'm going to bake some cookies and fill... Trucy seems to be feeling a little better. I always count on Athena to perk everybody up with her enthusiasm. Oh, she's back. Don't mind me, just forgot a few things. Wallet, phone, the documents, my bag. It's more like you forgot everything. I always count on Athena for that, too. Alright, you two, let's be careful out there. So our client is one Solomon Starbuck. He's so famous, even I've heard of him. That's right, he's a super famous astronaut who works at the Cosmos Space Center. He's actually up in outer space 7 years ago. You seem to know quite a bit about him. Now I'm all excited to meet the man. Wow, that was the longest sigh I've ever heard. Apollo told me all about you. You're Phoenix Wright, Apollo's mentor, right? Yes, that's right. Mentor has a nice ring to it. Don't worry about a thing, Mr. Starbuck. Mr. Wright and I have got you covered. Ah, and you're the new kid that Apollo told me about. Wait, don't I know you from somewhere? Huh? You mean other than at your trial? I don't think so. I guess so. My mistake. My memory isn't what it used to be. My mind and body are kaput. Same goes for my life. I mean, I'm so astronomically unlucky that I had a bomb go off in the middle of my trial. Trying to defend me would be like trying to enter the stratosphere without a spacecraft. Yikes, he's seriously got to stop depressing himself. Sure, Mr. Starbuck. Besides, that thing you said about entering the stratosphere, that just means we'd shine like shooting stars, right? Like shooting stars, huh? You know, you're right. Why didn't I think of that? After all, that's what we were all put on this earth to do, right? To shine like stars. I guess I shouldn't mention the fact that shooting stars burn out in a flash. Oh yeah, here we go. 3, 2, 1. To the stratosphere and beyond. Yeah, I feel alive now. You can go ahead and ask me anything you want. Is that really all it takes? So, you have no memory at all of the incident. Well, there he goes again. I'm so ashamed. My memory of the time is as black and clouded as a dark nebula. Still, it's strange you don't remember a thing. Are you sure you didn't take one of those anti-anxiety pills like they said at the trial? You got it all wrong. I told him during the investigation, too. I don't know anything about any drugs. I never took any medication, I swear. It is true I developed a fear of space because of what happened 7 years ago. And I was taking medication secretly every now and then when my anxiety got bad. Having a fear of space is not something an astronaut can brag about, you know? Oh, the so-called Hat 1 miracle? That must have been a terrifying experience. But I'm still an astronaut at heart, come what may. I would never take drugs that might impede my performance just before launch. And launch meant everything to me. That's more certain than the theory of relativity. He seems like a completely different person now. This is the face of the astronaut I know. The tranquilizers were found in your system. Yeah, see, that's the thing. But I don't know why. I'm done for. If you didn't take them, then maybe somebody slipped them to you? Exactly, that's what I thought. Must have been the real culprit. My medication was in my locker. Anybody could have gotten their hands on it. Maybe the real culprit also planted the detonator switch in your pocket. Yeah, that's gotta be it. I've been framed. I'll say, they even managed to plant your prints on the switch before slipping it in. It's a real possibility. Do you remember anything else that might be relevant? Anything at all, no matter how small. About the murder weapon, for example. That knife. I think it came from one of the Space Center's utility kits. Utility kits? Yeah, staff who work on machinery a lot are given these special toolkits to use. All the technicians have them, so I doubt you could prove whose knife it is. As I recall, your last trip into space was 7 years ago, right? That's right. It was a pretty rough experience. During that mission, we had all kinds of problems with the craft. You did? What kind of problems? Power failure, oxygen leakage, busted radio, cracked windows. Wow, that's a lot of problems. The heat shield came off as we were entering the atmosphere. I thought I was a goner. but I managed to make it somehow with the popsicles and ice packs from the free... Uh-huh. No wonder they dubbed it the Hat One Miracle. It's a miracle you made it back. Space is a boundless place. That's why it continues to capture people's imaginations. The vastness of space shows us how insignificant we are in the scheme of things. Darkness just goes on and on forever, and ever, and ever, without end. There's nobody else there. Nobody was gonna come save me. I was all alone. All alone, with nothing to listen to but the sound of my own breathing and heartbeat. Oh, this has become an anxiety stream. I kept scrambling to make repairs, but I couldn't keep my hands from shaking. An experience like that would make anybody afraid to go up into space. The experience you had, weren't you dreading this mission? What? No way. Of course not. Even now, I want to go up into space so bad I can barely stand it. I must shake off the Earth's gravity at escape velocity and spin around weightless. You have to admit it was pretty harrowing. Weren't you even a tiny bit afraid? I was afraid. Of course I was. Still am. Space is man's final frontier, an unknown world. The cosmic truth is out there waiting for us somewhere. Cosmic truth, huh? I guess there are people looking for the truth in every walk of life. No matter how afraid I am, I'm sure I can manage. If I give in to my fear, I'll never find the truth. As long as I don't give up, I can keep up the fight. One thing's for sure, Mr. Starbuck's passion for space is undeniably the real deal. The victim, Clay Terran, he was kind of like your protege, wasn't he? Well, it wasn't a big exaggerated deal like master and apprentice or anything like that, but Clay did think of me as his mentor. The mentor and the protege, what a combination they must have been. With his encouragement, I knew I could get over my fear and go back into space. But now... Clay must have been very encouraging, huh? Yeah, it's funny, really. Whenever I'd hear him shout, "You're fine!" I always got the feeling everything really was just gonna be fine. Or gonna be just fine. Apollo says I'm fine, and you're fine all the time too. Yeah. I always feel encouraged too whenever I hear him shout it. Yeah, Clay and Apollo were best buds. He used to come visit the Space Center a lot, ever since they were high school kids. One day, out of the blue, Clay even told me he wanted to be my protege. Those two hung around the Space Center so much they were like a part of the staff. One time, during zero-G training, I started to panic a little bit. And the two of them took turns shouting, "You're fine!" over the radio. It's a simple thing, but it was exactly what I needed to hear. So, I'm fine and you're fine were like Apollo and Clay's secret phrases, huh? Wish I could ask Apollo more about Clay and their relationship now. Speaking of Clay, how do you suppose he climbed down the ladder with you over his shoulder? Sorry, but I can't even begin to imagine. But he actually did climb down that ladder, so a way has to exist. From the freedom of space to the walls of a cell. That prosecutor said the dark night sky isn't half bad through barred windows. You're fine. Solomon Saul Starbuck is fine. Everything is going to be alright. Huh? And Athena Sykes is fine. Come on, Mr. Wright, you too. Do I really have to? Phoenix Wright is fine. I can't hear you. Phoenix Wright's fine. We'll get you back into space yet, Mr. Starbuck. Believe in your own innocence, and have faith in us. Apollo believed in you wholeheartedly, and that's good enough for me. I believe in you too. Thank you. Thank you, both of you. I'll put my faith in you. I vow to make it back into space. All I need first is a not guilty verdict. It feels nice to reassure ourselves every now and then that we're all fine. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Wright. Let's get our investigation of the Space Center started pronto. Good idea. Let's go. Wow, I was wondering what kind of place this Space Center would be. Almost looked like an amusement park of the future. Yeah, did you know they even let the public see their rockets up close? Oh, so check it out. Look how brightly the GAXA logo shines in the sunlight above the entranceway. I really dig the stars and rocket motif it's got going. GAXA, huh? Isn't that the new name of the Federal Space R&D program? Yeah, but why the strange acronym? I mean, what is GAS supposed to stand for? Galaxy? If that were it, then the whole thing would be something like Galaxy Exploration Agency. Which, if you ask me, I'd have agreed to GAXA or even Gaia. I guess so. Oh, I know. Maybe the person who came up with the name just really likes the letter Y. This exchange is beginning to feel oddly like deja vu. Anyway, this place is more than just a research facility. It's also a tourist attraction. Tourist attraction? Don't make me laugh. It's a monument to the human race. Galactic scooter, full speed ahead. Yikes. Who's this geezer and what's he want? Look upon me and look well. Behold the great power of space science. Pardon me, but you are... My glorious name is Yuri Cosmos. I am the director of the Cosmos Space Center, the center of the cosmos. Boss, that was pretty groan-inducing. This person is the Space Center's director, and that means... Aha, so you were one of the first to discover Clay's body, weren't you? Unfortunately, the other person is no longer around. That is correct. I was honored to be the very first man in all of space and time to discover the body. With this talk of the incident, are you by any chance the space police? Alright, this guy's getting a little wacky. Can't tack the word space onto just any old thing, you know. Mr. Starbuck's lawyers, we're here to investigate his case. Oh, and we're Earth lawyers, by the way. Ah, I see. Yes, I've heard about you. In that case, by my esteemed privilege, I grant you permission to investigate. Trust you're appropriately grateful. Now go ahead, have at it. I can already tell he's going to be nothing but trouble. Don't let him hear you say that, or you'll see what trouble really is. Let's just be professional and ask him about when he found the body, okay? So as director, what do you do here at the Space Center specifically? Defend peace across the galaxy and promote space development in this country. No matter what obstacles stand in our way, we keep going, for the sake of mankind. I believe I used the word specifically in my question. Attention all personnel, to your break stations, prepare for break. Oh, I get it. You just wander around and tell people what to do in a self-important... Athena! That is exactly right, because I'm an important man. My manner is important. Oh boy. Mr. Wright, this man doesn't get sarcasm. Well, there's bound to be some people like that here in the boundlessness of space. What's that? You want to know what it is that makes me important specifically? Very well, I will tell you. I was the central figure of the Hat 1 project. You may proceed to be appropriately impressed. Now go ahead, have at it. So, you were the reason there were so many problems? Just tell us what you know about the incidents from the other day. I refuse. What? Explaining is a job for common folk, not the director of the Center of the Cosmos. Okay, so he did it. My testimony, which will go down in space history, will be heard in the courtroom. Yep. He absolutely did it. So that means he'll be taking the stand tomorrow. That is correct. I will be the most glorious witness in the history of mankind. Not sure if he really understands what being a witness is all about. It's like Director Cosmos is the type that only talks about what he wants to talk about. Well, let's at least try to ask him about the things he might be willing to open up about. That one was a rocket that was launched into space 7 years ago, correct? And despite numerous problems, it somehow made its way back home. I suppose it is part of my job to educate ignorant young folk like you. Very well, I will impart to you the complete story of the Hat 1 project. Oh, thank you very much. Hat 1's noble mission was to collect samples from an asteroid, and Mr. Starbuck was the pilot for that flight. Eventually, the Hat 1 reached its planned orbit, from where it launched the Hope probe towards the asteroid belt. From there, the Hope probe began its long, lonely journey into the far reaches of space. Then, after a terrifying struggle, the Hat 1 returned safely to Earth. That struggle is when the incident known as the Hat 1 miracle occurred, right? Correct, and it truly was a miracle. Of course, they just had to turn the ordeal into a movie. As for the Hope probe, it did eventually arrive safely at its destination. Obtained a few samples from the asteroid and returned to Earth but a few days ago. So what kind of samples are they? What's in them? The samples are scheduled for analysis in the near future. We haven't had time since they just came back the day before Terran's murder. Regrettably, we've had no time to inspect the samples due to everything that has occurred. But this puts our space development program ahead of other countries by several years. It's quite impressive. I guess this guy isn't just a loudmouth braggart after all. The golden age of space development, our predecessors were successful in bringing a moon rock back. That is the greatest achievement in the history of the Space Center. The public fell in love with space and all of its glorious potential. A moon rock, huh? I remember that being big. Our endeavors with the moon rock live on in our work with those asteroid samples. I want to bestow new hopes and dreams for the future upon mankind once again. That is my mission, as the man who stands at the center of the cosmos. And there's lots of research into moon rocks and stardust from asteroids these days. They say the results could potentially have a huge impact on all of civilization. It's like we're in a new space race with every other country out there. What? Bite your tongue. It's not for anything so base as money or politics. It's all for the brilliant future that awaits mankind, and all for my illustrious mission. With the recent budget cuts, my staff tells me finances are tight, but I won't hear it. I guess even a space program has to watch its budget. By the way, you seem awfully nonchalant about this kind of thing, Athena. Huh? Oh, well, you know, I thought I'd better brush up to the case. Is that so? Well, I will be on my way. As you can see, I'm very busy and very important man. Galactic Scooter, fire up the main engine, max battle speed, and engage. That is surprisingly fast. I guess we better get going too. You bet. Let's make it so. Athena Sykes is fine. Huh? What's that all about? I thought I'd better get fired up twice as much to make up for Apollo being gone. For starters, I thought I'd imitate him. So you're doing a voice workout, huh? Yep, you have to push your voice up from the pit of your stomach. Hold it. There's a contradiction in the witness's statement. You're really serious about this. Objection! You are lying. The true culprit is the judge. What? You're just going to hand down the verdict? No, I didn't think of that. So what do you think we should do next? Oh, that's right. What is it, Athena? I just remembered I forgot to go running today. I was so taken up with what happened to Apollo, it slipped my mind. That wasn't what I was asking. I don't know. Maybe he's too wacky to have done it. I guess if we run into someone else, maybe... I guess it's a matter of if we run into anyone else before the investigation is done. So this is where Mr. Tarrant was murdered. Yeah, this is the lounge. Let's see that diagram the police made again. Right now we're in the main building here on the right side, on the 3rd floor. Clay and Mr. Starbuck fled here from Launchpad 1 after the explosion. You there, no admittance without express permission. We're Mr. Starbuck's lawyers. We've come to investigate. Sorry, nobody gets in without permission, not even the police superintendent. Can't have Detective Fulbright getting mad at me. Detective Fulbright is here, huh? Yeah, he's in the Launchpad 1 corridor. Go get clearance from him and then we'll talk. Leave it to me. I'm great at getting intel out of Detective Fulbright. Let's see. What trick should I use on him today? I don't know if I should be grateful or afraid. So to get to the Launchpad 1 corridor, we just have to go through that door with the blue rocket on it, right? I think. Wait, that door... It looks awfully familiar. G'day there, boss. This is the door Clay and Mr. Starbuck used during their escape from the launch pad. Ah, that explains it. The fingerprint system has been deactivated, so I think we can just pass through. Now come on, let's go. So this is it, huh? This is the corridor the two of them used in their escape. Yep, this is the only thing connecting Launchpad 1 with the main building. See police tape down at the other end. Guess we'll be looking at the launch pad. After the explosion, this whole corridor must have been filled with smoke. And the launch pad itself was probably a sea of flames. Must have been pretty scary for them. Now, where could Detective Fulbright be? Hey, I think that's him over there. What should I do? Which path is the path of justice? He seems to be lost. That's funny. This corridor is a straight shot. Huh? Ah, it's you lawyer people. Welcome to Space Center. Enjoying a relaxing day off, are you? Here for a little rocket sightseeing? We're here to investigate the scene, same as you. Do you have any info to share? Boss, if he acts at all reluctant to give us information, we hit him with the whatever shall we do act. I'm sure he'll fall for it. Got it? You trying to catch the unruly family dog here or something? Info on the case, huh? Alright, I'll gladly share some with you. Huh? What just happened? Detectives and lawyers, seeking truth and justice side by side. I like it. Just take whatever you want from me, you info bandits. I'm in a generous mood today. I don't know. Something weird about Detective Fulbright today. Well, we need information, so let's run with it. If you say so. Detective Fulbright, could you give us permission to investigate the crime scene? There's an officer on guard and we can't get in. Oh, whatever shall we do? That's an easy one. I'll let him know over there to let you in. Investigate to your heart's content. Take a week if you need it. A month even. Shall I have some snacks delivered? One of my men gives a mean neck rub. No, that's okay, but thanks. Definitely not the Fulbright I know. Detective Fulbright is acting sickeningly sweet. It's kind of gross, actually. Think he hit his head or something? Who knows? Whatever the case, it's making our lives way easier. You were here at the Space Center at the time of the incidents, weren't you, Detective? That's right. I was here on a security assignment. Police are required to secure rocket launches now? I didn't know that. Yes. Well, you know us. Serve and protect. Explosions occurred while I was here on duty, so I started leading the evacuation. He's leaving out a lot of details, but okay. Could you tell us more about what happened? Of course, a bomb went off on the second floor of the main building. Right after that, the one over in Launch Pad 1 also blew sky high. So I immediately instructed the visitors and the employees to evacuate to the shelter. That's right, there's an evacuation shelter in the basement of the Space Center. It's there for accidents and emergencies and the like. So where were you when the first bomb went off? I was on duty on the 4th floor. It's quite the madhouse, I tell you. The elevator wasn't working on account of the explosion. And the stairs on the 2nd floor were destroyed, so we couldn't go that way. Wasn't it impossible to get down to the basement shelter? No, we lowered an emergency ladder from a 4th floor window and escaped that way. It was a folding ladder, so it wasn't very stable, but at least it reached the ground. After I secured the ladder, I left to take another look around for any other survivors. Once everyone else got out safely, I made my way down too and headed to the shelter. Wow, what an ordeal. But climbing down an emergency ladder kind of sounds fun. Thank you for your answers, Detective. They were very helpful. Just a moment. I have some more information to share with you. But don't tell Prosecutor Blackwell, okay? Wow, and Prosecutor Blackwell usually has you on a short leash, too. Well, never mind that. I thought you should know that there was a witness. Could you tell us more about this witness? Sure thing. The witness was a Space Center employee who was on the 4th floor. While she was climbing down, she looked through a window into the 3rd floor lounge. So, she was looking into the crime scene from the outside? That's right. It was just a matter of chance that she saw something important. Not that I know what she saw exactly yet, though. You don't? But that's the most important thing of all. Don't you worry. I'll get around to interviewing her soon enough. She'll still be somewhere here in the Space Center. You might even run into her. A 4th floor employee, huh? Alright, thanks for the info, Detective Fulbright. Gee, you sure are being cooperative, Detective. A little too cooperative, even. Yes, well, actually, something you can't talk about? Yeah, something like that. Anyway, never mind. Don't worry about me. Well, I'll be on my way now. What's that all about? Something is definitely going on. I'm going to get it out of him the next time I see him. Okay. Not so sure he'll talk about it, though. Oh, we have permission to investigate now. Let's head back to the boarding lounge. Ah, you two. Detective Fulbright has granted you permission to investigate. He also said I should bring you some snacks or give you a neck rub too if you'd like. Oh, that's alright, but thank you for the offer. Well, time to roll up our sleeves and start investigating. Now, let's see. Where's that diagram again? It says the lounge room is on the 3rd floor of the main building. According to Apollo, this is where he believes the third party killed his friend. Well, let's stop the recap and start looking for traces of this third person then. Read my mind, Athena. We'll make that our first priority. There's just one problem, though. This room. It's just so big. Don't worry. We can use this to help us. The Space Center pamphlet for tourists? Yep, picked it up at the entrance. Maps inside should come in handy. Let's see. Yep, here it is. A map of the lounge. This is the door we went through to talk to Detective Fulbright. Oh yeah, that's the door with the fingerprint recognition lock. Well, I guess this map will make things a little easier. Yeah, no more excuses. Let's track down the third person. So there's 3 different access points to the boarding lounge. One from the control room, one from the launch pad corridor, and one from a hallway that leads away to the elevators. Or some other area that connects, presumably. Wait. There's just one more thing. It's that strange creature moving around outside the window. Oh, boss. It's just a holographic image. Oh yeah, I knew that. Phew, it's a relief. Should be a button somewhere in this room to turn the image on and off. That's what it says in the pamphlet, anyway. The reason you're so eager to start is so that you can push that button, isn't it? And what's wrong with that? Let's just look for the button while we're looking for clues. Alright, fine, let's get investigating. So it looks like there are 3 doors that lead in and out of this room. Well, let's check. Drum roll, please. Ta-da! Space Center pamphlet. Yeah, 3 doors. Here at this place it says Boarding Lounge 1. Here are the 3 doors. Let's call them Lefty, Righty, and Downy. We usually say West, East, and South in a case like this, you know. Details, details. Anyway, take a look at the West door. The door with the rocket icon leads to Launchpad 1. I know because it says here on the map, Launchpad 1 corridor. So that's where we were with the detective. It's filled with smoke after the explosion. Right, next up, the right-hand side of the map, or the east in your world. That's the door with the satellite dish icon to signify communication, aka the control room. Yep, definitely says control room. Looks like it has another door on the opposite side. They communicate and exchange information with rockets and probes in space from there. So, it's the center of the Space Center. The Space Center, if you will. Does everybody start to talk like Director Cosmos after they've been here a while? But it seems they've built a new command center on the 6th floor. That's what they used for the Hat 2 mission, so this control room was empty at the time. I always wanted to see the inside of a mission control room, and since we're here, I'd love to do that too, but it doesn't look like we'll be able to. They want to keep curious kids like you out. So the door is protected with fingerprint recognition. Only the director can go through. With that much security, I'm definitely not the one they're looking to keep out, Athena. So apparently the lock is also hooked up to a backup generator in case of emergencies. Okay, what about that last door? This lower door, oh, excuse me, I mean south door, leads to the elevators. This is the door we came through when we entered this room, right? Yep, and of course there was no fingerprint recognition device, so it's open to anyone. The elevators weren't working at the time due to the explosion. Well, that's about it for the 3 muscadors of the boarding lounge. Thanks. Understanding the layout of the lounge should help us understand the case. That's why I thought we'd better have a good grasp of where all the doors go. Wait, hold on a second. Bright purple sky, plenty of greenery, and a tranquil lake. The idyllic scene stretches on as far as the eye can see. It's beautiful, but it lacks something to make it truly captivating. Oh, I thought that was like... I thought that was maybe just not just a spider web. Some pretty futuristic looking furniture over there. According to the pamphlet, those are no ordinary chairs. They're like amusement park teacup rides. You can power them yourself, it says. You spin the table, your chair spins too. Why would anybody want to have something like that here? It's for astronauts who have trouble with the device on the ceiling. No vertical spins. It says it's a training device that's easy on the eyes and on the body. Can a person really call themselves an astronaut if they can't handle 0G? Let's see. This door is... Where's that pamphlet? It's the launchpad door. Just wanted to inspect it for clues. Word was filled with smoke at the time of the bombing. This thing beside the door. This must be the fingerprint recognition device. Which reminds me, I think Prosecutor Blackwell talked about it at the trial. Does this mean the bomber's prints were verified by the system? The number of authorized personnel was supposed to be really small. Voila, fingerprint powder. I brought it just in case something like this came up. Found it at the office. I've been just itching for a chance to use it. Wow, way to think ahead. Let's dust the fingerprint recognition device and see what we can find. Gonna sprinkle some here, a little over there, and... Wow, they're just gonna skip this one now, huh? Let's see what we have here. Oh, we got something. Aw, it's only a single set of prints. Isn't that a good thing? Sure wish we could figure out whose prints these are. Although I doubt we'll be so lucky as to get the culprit's prints in the first try. Well, I'm willing to bet that Detective Fulbright has some fingerprint data. Right, and there's the security footage of this door, too. Yeah, the security footage, which only consists of a single image instead of a video feed. So you can see the part of the footage just after this bit. Oh, because that would be right before the murder, wouldn't it? Let's ask the detective. When Moody's in, he'll probably show it to us right away. Yeah, he's in almost too good of a mood today. Let's go see if we can find him again once we're done with this room. So this is the fingerprint recognition device. I guess you put your hand on this hand mark. Well, I guess you can try. Now to line my hand up with the outline. Don't, Athena. This thing is related to the case. Get your prints all over that, and the next thing you know, you'll be named a suspect. How can you be so cruel to a little girl like me? I'm not buying those tears, Missy. What this big knob is for? It's like the knob on a stove. Well, it's the same shape, but I think that's where the similarities end. I mean, it's behind a glass pane. What kind of stove would require knob security like this? The knob is straight up and down, so if this were a stove, the burner would be off. Right, if it was for a stove. Still, I wonder what it's really for. Something turned on by a knob that's not a stove? But a rocket engine. If you had to start the engine here, the rocket would take off before you get in. And I guess all we can say for now is that it's a mystery knob. Alright then. Here's another amazing piece of equipment. Walk on the surface of the moon, it says. Oh boy, I want to try it. Gravity's weak on the moon, so I bet I could do mid-air somersaults. We're still on Earth, remember? Besides, it's connected to the ceiling. Well, at least I could jump really high. There's a sign on the wall that very clearly says, "Don't jump too high." Then what good is this thing? Didn't I say in the beginning, walk on the surface of the moon? No, it's the same thing. What's this? A trapdoor? It's a trash chute. The cleaning robots throw the garbage out from here. The robots do the cleaning? What a futuristic world we live in. I just hope they don't revolt like they do in science fiction movies. No way, all the robots here are very nice. Actually, wasn't there one in the Launchpad 1 corridor? We can go say hi to it if you want. Hello. Hey, I see something shiny down there. Let's take this cover off then. What's this? It's like a metal jelly. It's a bullet. It's only about 2 to 3 millimeters in diameter. Let's see, that would make the caliber .10? Caliber refers to the diameter of a gun's barrel, right? Yes, but I've never heard of a 10 caliber gun before. This bullet must be for a special kind of gun. But if you tried firing a bullet this small with a regular sized gun, it would just fall right out. Yeah, it must have been a really small gun. Now the bullet ended up here. I mean, we're in the bottom left on the south door side of the room, according to this map. That's pretty far from where Clay's body was. Maybe the police didn't think to look here. Yeah, leave it to Detective Fulbright to accidentally hand us just the card we need. But I didn't think the guy was shot. Oh, the doors, right. I guess I should have known that would just bring this up again. Mirror. How thoughtful of them to put one here. Thoughtful? The ladies can fix their makeup. One's appearance is just as important in space as it is on Earth, you know. Never know what you're going to when you're going to run into some other life form, after all. Anybody who thinks like that would ever become an astronaut in the first place. These are apparently oxygen capsules. They're for recovery after a training session. They can change your voice. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Huh? Didn't do a thing. It's not helium, Athena, it's oxygen. No matter how I look at it, all I can think of is torture device. But I guess it's a training device for getting used to zero gravity? Uh-oh, Athena has an odd glint in her eye. Is she thinking about trying that thing out? I should try to stop her, but I'm afraid she'll just outmuscle me. Hey, Mr. Wright, look at that up there. Some kind of fragment, stuck in tight. Oh, so that's what the glint was all about. The color looks familiar. I think it's part of an oxygen tank. I think you're right, but if that's here, it means Clay's tank ruptured after they arrived at the boarding lounge. So Prosecutor Blackwell's theory that Mr. Starbuck dropped Clay down the ladder must be wrong. This proves that both the astronauts were alive when they reached the boarding lounge. So Apollo was right. The scene of the murder was at the launch pad. Hey, way to go, Apollo. Interesting. A window. It's right next to the holographic image, too. I bet it's here to help people see the stark contrast between reality and virtual reality. Way off, it says emergency ventilation, you know, to clear the smoke from a fire. See, it's pointing out the virtual insanity of reality. At first glance, it looks like a peaceful landscape, but then there's that creature. Didn't the Hope probe go to some planet? Maybe this is what its surface looked like. Oh no, I think it would have made the news if they discovered a creature like that. Did make quite a bit of news though when the probe came back. Yeah, but the Hope probe didn't even go to a planet, it went to an asteroid. It's a big rock kind of thing. Even aliens can't live there. Oh Yeah, the furniture. Alright, I think that's everything in this room. Try going back to the corridor. Oh, I guess we can't talk to him. I'm getting the sense you are perplexed by this piece of evidence. Well, I guess that's true. See, even the simple act of presenting evidence reveals your underlying emotions. I said better be careful when I present evidence then. If I can't talk to the robot... Is there something else here we've missed? Oh, right. This is where they discovered Clay. Yeah, he was already dead when they found him. Let's take a look at the photo. So he was stretched out like this, and... Huh? What's that thing that looks like a thermos? That's the thing that Prosecutor Blackwell mentioned when I was in court with Paulo. He said that it contains asteroid samples. Oh right, Detective Cosmos mentioned something about that too, didn't he? But wait, if they just got back, why are they in the corridor? They were brought back only 5 days ago. But well, no, because that would be about when the murder happened. Well, but the probe that one launched. I don't know what they look like. Do you think they'll let us see? Let's think about that after we've solved the case, okay? Okay, now what? Hello. Some kind of panel with 2 buttons on it here. Just push it. That's the invariable principle of buttons. There are such things as buttons left unpushed. Hey, the giant holographic image disappeared. Yeah, though that side of the wall seems kind of barren without it now. Still, let's see if we can't find anything new with the image off. Ah, that wasn't just a spider web. Hey, Mr. Wright, take a look at this. It's like a bullet hole. Great find, Athena. Pretty big. Whoever fired this shot must have been using a pretty large gun. You think so? Based on my experience, I'd say this was fired from a regular pistol. Well, whatever size it was, somebody fired a gun in here, right? Apparently. This is an important fact. Do you see a bullet around here? We already found the bullet. It's literally right next to it in the court record. Let's ask Detective Fulbright about this bullet hole later. Alright, so I think that's everything. Welcome to the Space Center, guests. Welcome. Okay, the robot absolutely 100% did it. Hey, Tormuse, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for stopping by. How'd the survival go? Oof. It happens sometimes. Oh, yeah. That'll do it. Well, I have been investigating the Space Center, trying to find out what happened here. Um, now that things have calmed down a bit, and Phoenix is taking over for the case, so we're gonna try and poke around and see what's happening. What in the world? My name is Ponko. P-O-N-C-O. Ponko. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta find that right balance between moving too slowly and moving too fast. Well, here's a dancing Ponko robot to cheer you up. Are you sightseeing? Are you lost? Are you looking around? Choose one. I will guide you. It's a robot? I'm not a robot. I'm Ponko. Psychological observation and navigation companion. You know... You can't see it in her photo. This guy reminds me a lot of her little widget companion. Oh, I'm glad we got that cleared up. Ponko, I've missed you. Yep. She definitely, is familiar. You know this thing, Athena? Oh, she, showed us around the last time when I came here with Apollo. Oh, you're such a good girl, Ponko. That's a good girl. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy. So very happy. Okay, so I guess she just knows. Never mind. My name is Phoenix Wright. Nice to meet you. I don't know you. I don't know you. Huh? Ouch. That hurt. Oh, she has to register people she meets for the first time. Please register him, Ponko. Certainly. Commencing guest registration. Please tell me your name. A nickname is fine, too. His name is Phoenix. Bit overly familiar, but I'll allow it. Phoenix, please let me get a good look at your face. Oh, sure. Registering. Facial registration sequence complete. We are now officially friends. Nice to meet you, Phoenix. I thought I could just make a run for it, but I guess it's too way. Ooh. Yeah. You were over-encumbered. Huh, this robot is pretty cute. Made a friend, boss. Isn't it great? Phoenix, Athena, allow me to guide you. Right this way. Oh, goody. Let's go, boss. Go where? Oh, wow. What is this place? Is that rocket real? Welcome, welcome. The Space Museum is open to the public every day of the year from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Learn about the history of our nation's space development and the Hat 1 project. The rocket is just a replica, but it's the same size as the real one. The Space Museum. Oh, here it is on the map. Okay, so it's on the exact opposite side of the main building from Launchpad 1. Ask me anything, anything. I will explain. It's quite the place. I can't believe we get to see a rocket this close up. This is a replica of the Hat 1 that was launched 7 years ago. It's exactly like the real Hat 1 inside and out. Its little brother, the Hat 2, was supposed to launch the other day. I wonder if Ponko knows why the launch was cancelled. Over there is an exhibit about the launch 7 years ago. Check it out, check it out. There's that jacket. Spacesuits, photos, newspaper articles. I'd like to come here again on a day off. Hey, what's this a photo of? Phoenix, that's the staff of the Hat 1 project. Oh, there's Mr. Starbuck. He looks so young and so different. Ah, and that's... What is it, Athena? Something wrong? Oh, nothing. I just thought Mr. Starbuck looked really young, too, that's all. Well, it was 7 years ago, after all, so the young guy standing next to Mr. Starbuck is Clay Terran, the victim. So they were mentor and protege even way back then. And he's even got one of the staff jackets. He looks just like a regular staff member. No, Clay was still a student then. He just borrowed one of Solomon's old jackets. Ah, okay. Yeah, that seems to be their, acronym or whatever. I wonder if there's something I have around here that, Yeah, there's nothing that says what it actually stands for. Makes sense. Clay would have still been in high school 7 years ago. Everybody looks so happy. The Space Museum is great. What fantastic exhibits. Also noticing that code is torn for some reason. This area used to be Launchpad 2. That's why the only entrance is on the 3rd floor. Yep. Trying to figure out what happened, only now is Phoenix right this time. Wouldn't it be better if they just made a new ground floor entrance instead? There was talk of it. They had to scrap their plans because of the budget cuts. Budget cuts, budget cuts. We need more money, money. Who would record that kind of information into a guide robot? While it was in space, the Hat 1 launched a probe called Hope. The Hope probe collected some samples from an asteroid and returned 5 days ago. That's what Director Cosmos said, too. Told us it came back the day before Clay was killed. And here it is, the Hope space probe. I think I've seen that logo somewhere before. Let's see. Oh yeah, the capsule that the victim was carrying. I think it had the same logo. I think it can be seen in the photo attached to the autopsy report. Maybe she'll give me some more info if I show it to her. Ah, no, the wrong button. But I also wonder who those two other people were. Okay, gotta make sure not to click that one again. The way the Space Center launch pad is set up is really cool. Would you like me to tell you about it? Would you? Set up with a launch pad? Go gentle on my spiky-haired mind. I want to know. I want to know. Phoenix wants to know too. Great. Now Athena's got a case of ponchoitis. Hooray! I will tell you then. The rocket is built right inside the actual launch pad structure. When the rocket is complete, it's moved along with the launch pad over the rails. And brought into position at the launch site. Isn't it cool? Isn't it? We used to have a big budget, so that's how we could build it all. It's very cool. A grand setup that suits an important place like the Space Center. Yeah. everyone is hoping for a bigger budget next year, myself included. I'm guessing the whole thing is operated from the control room, huh? That it is, but it can also be operated from the new command center, too. Either way, the safety lock in the boarding lounge has to first be disengaged. I guess before a big move like that can be carried out, there are all kinds of procedures. I'd love to see the launch pad being moved. When's the next one scheduled for? Searching data. All future plans have been put on hold because of the bombing and the murder out that, which is perfectly understandable. When was the last time it was moved? Searching data. I'm sorry, that answer isn't in my answer database. I guess Ponko can only answer certain questions. Ponko, do you recognize this capsule here in the top right? Checking registered data. I know. It's the Hope capsule. It was carried inside the Hope probe. Contained the asteroid samples, right? Yes, it was designed to store the samples gathered by the Hope probe. It's been stored in the safe in Launchpad 1 ever since it returned to Earth. It must not be removed. Don't worry, Ponko. The people in charge already know what happened. They do? I must ask him later. So the capsule's being kept in Launchpad 1, huh? Maybe Clay was trying to carry it to safety after the explosion. Space Center staff must have been really excited to finally get the capsule back. It's a pity this incident occurred before they got a chance to check the contents. Well, the police took it as evidence, so they'll have to wait a little longer. Well, we certainly learned a lot about the Space Museum. Thank you, Ponko. You explained everything very well. I love to explain. Thank you for listening. Thank you. You two are like old friends. It's hard to believe you just met recently. Hehe, it's because Ponko is so friendly. Oh, what should we investigate next? Let's go find Detective Fulbright. We have things to ask him about. Let's see. Security footage and the fingerprint data, was it? Okay, let's go back to the Launchpad 1 corridor. Bye, Ponko. See you later. Come again. And don't forget to visit the gift shop. Poor Ponko. What a Dickensian life we are all forced to lead. I guess we can examine the rip in that jacket. What should I do? Which path is the path of justice? Here's Detective Fulbright. He still seems to be lost, even though it's a straight corridor. Let's hope he's still in a cooperative mood as well, then. If he doesn't cooperate, then I'll just have to use my powers on him. You mean that lady in distress bit? I found a bullet hole in the wall of this crime scene. You did? Our team found that too. It was Detective Arm who fired that bullet. What? Detective Arm? That's right, a warning shot for the defendant. Was it really such a high-threat situation that she needed to do that? I'm afraid I don't know the details, but with Detective Arm gone and all. Yeah... I thought there were two people who discovered the crime scene together. We already know Director Cosmos will testify, so tomorrow will be about what he knows. Hey, you're pretty smart. That's exactly what we're planning to serve as the main course. But it goes down easy. fingerprint data. Detective, we'd like to run a comparison on some prints we found at the boarding lounge. Ah, yes. Just happen to have compiled the print data of everyone related to this case. I always make another copy for myself, so it's all yours. Consider it a gift. This is quite a bit of data. Not when I said everyone, I meant it. Prosecutor Blackwell said to dig deep, so that's what I did. Sure took a while, though. Oh, we got Apollos and my prints. We even got prints for all of the robots. What? Do robots have prints? Place fingerprints are here too. Well, I mean, that makes sense. Still can't believe he took off his glove to get his fingerprints. Yeah, well, you can't blame me for thinking they're important in this case. There are a lot of doors that require fingerprint verification in the lounge. So depending on whose prints we find, it can completely change the tide for both sides. It makes sense. After all, the culprit's prints did get them past the fingerprint lock somehow. Oh, take this picture. It might come in handy. Isn't this just a photo of the Launchpad 1 door? Yep, but Prosecutor Blackwell seemed really interested in it for some reason. What's so important about this door? Beats me, but boy could you see the gears in his head go into hyperdrive at it. Sounds like this is going to be a major point of contention tomorrow. Hey, don't forget about the print comparison, boss. Right, Detective Fulbright, do you think you could run the test for us right now? You just leave it to me. In justice we trust. Okay, here we go. Well, it looks like it was Mr. Starbuck who opened that security door. He must have opened it when they went to go board the rocket. His heart must have been full of hopes and dreams for a space adventure right then. Well, I guess it makes sense because, I mean, the two of them could have gone to the launch corridor together. So only one of them would have needed to use his handprint to open the door. Although that also means that anyone else probably could have, if anyone else managed to sneak in at the same time, they could have also gotten in. If it doesn't verify that anyone else makes it through. What about this door? No, not interested. Detective, about the security footage was taken by the boarding lounge 1 camera. Oh, that footage. Go ahead and ask me anything you like about it. Is there any way I could see a little more of the part just after this? Easy as pie, I'd be glad to show you. Here we go. Huh? The screen went blank. Yes, apparently the after effects of the explosion damaged the wires. So there's no footage after this point. Ha ha ha. Why didn't you just say so from the beginning? Huh. But shouldn't there at least have been something before then, too? I mean, if nothing else, if we can just establish they didn't have a knife sticking out of him, then we could say, okay, at the very least it didn't take place outside the lounge area. Something definitely seems to be up with you, Detective. You're unusually cooperative. Well, I just figure if we work together, we'll get that much closer to justice, right? It seems like something's really been bothering you. You don't have some ulterior motive, do you? Hmm. What? I don't know what you're talking about. I would never do anything like that. Huh. It's been a while. Those are definitely psych locks. Hmm? Did you just mouth psyched? Is there something I should be psyched about? No. Psych lock. It's a system of locks on the secrets in a person's heart. I can see when people are trying to hide those secrets by using the power of this magaton. You sure you should just be telling? Oh, meow, yeah, it's probably Delphine jumping around. It is not quite dinner time, but she will voice her opinion on that anyway. Yes, you. Meow. I don't know if Phoenix should really be telling him about this. Even this can break those locks and reveal any secrets they're hiding. Mr. Wright, how much did they bilk you out of for that piece of rock? If you've been swindled, I know some lawyers I can introduce you to. I'm more than capable of representing myself, thank you very much. This isn't some kind of fraud. It really works. A friend gave it to me a long time ago. But I guess seeing is believing. Allow me to show you. See what presenting the Magatama which will reveal, shall we?
Take that!
I think you're hiding something, Detective, so why don't you just tell us about it? What to do? Which path is the path of justice? Detective Fulbright's really in agony. Maybe this is the issue he's so torn up over. Is it justice? I don't understand what's been bothering you, Detective. Something happened that goes against your principles, isn't that right? No, I don't know what you're talking about. Until the explosions occurred, everything was just fine. Is that a fact? Yeah, peaceful as peaceful can be. Everyone whistling a happy tune as they did their job. Never saw a more relaxed guard detail for a routine rocket launch. I don't think the guard detail was as relaxed as you claim as long as this exists. You have enough evidence, but I should think this through a little more first.
Take that!
Why should you claim as long as this exists? Guard detail was relaxed. Maybe the Hopes capsule? And there's also this bullet, but I think this was fired after the... I don't think this was fired before the incident started. There's this knife. Knife could be it, but I have to know when, and then have to see when the rules change. But this one seems like it would definitely be a
Take that!
thing for increased security. Oh. You're not presenting that to me as evidence, are you? Making fun of me? Just as I said, until the explosions occurred, everything was... What? Okay, so...
Take that! Take that! Take that!
Okay, so it's not a bullet got fired, so that must have been afterwards.
Take that!
Whoop, I did not mean to present that. I meant to look at it again. But whatever. Okay, so it's not gonna be this. It's already not that. This is after the bomb went off.
Take that!
Maybe because there was increased security? No. Like, what would have caused the guard detail to be on edge even before the explosions happened? I'll be right back. Okay. So relax as long as you claim as long as this exists. So we tried that. Despite tight security. Ah.
Take that!
Before the explosions, what was supposed to happen here was a rocket launch. And yet security was so tight they even brought in a special task force. I'd hardly describe that as a relaxed guard detail. Now hold on just one moment. The entire nation had their eyes on this extremely important rocket launch. That's why I was called in with a special security detail. As versatile as you are, I can certainly believe that's true. But I say it's very strange that this person would be a part of that detail from the outset. Oh. Huh. You know, I never thought about that, but if they had a detective who specialized in bomb cases specifically on detail...
Take that!
means that you people knew there was the possibility that a bombing would occur. You got me, Mr. Wright. Alright, I concede. You win. It's just as you say. A few days before the launch, they were warned about a potential bombing. But the plan to launch went ahead in spite of the threat. Yeah, it seems that way. But why? What were they planning to do if someone got hurt or killed? Yeah, I know. The decision to move forward wasn't exactly just, was it? How was the warning delivered? By phone and directly to Director Cosmos. But the police department instructed everybody to keep it under wraps. Yeah. It's a big thing to keep quiet about. No wonder you were so upset. It's pretty funny, and they are making use of the whole, 3D aspect of things. It's not only that, I've been distraught about Prosecutor Blackquill as well. Prosecutor Blackquill? Well, as his handler, I'm sure you have a lot of difficulties. That's not it. It's a question of justice. I've been wondering about why he's allowed to stand in court. That is a good question. Isn't he still prosecuting? Detective Fulbright, please tell us everything you know. Well, talking to you folks about it would definitely be breaking the rules. Never mind that. What rules but things to be broken, right? Well, to tell you the truth, having a prisoner act as a prosecutor is highly irregular. I think we guessed that much. So why is it being allowed? I've been wondering and wondering about it. So you weren't told why either, huh? No, I guess the order came from pretty high up the ladder. Yeah, it would had to have. Prosecutor Blackquill told me once. The hunt I've been on for the phantom of 7 years past continues even still. Huh. 7 years past? Phantom, huh? And not one of the friendly variety either, I gather. This phantom of 7 years past, any idea who or what he was talking about? Not a clue. But he seems to think that this phantom is behind this whole incident somehow. Wait a minute, he thinks they may be connected to this case? Yup, this case has way too many similarities to what happened 7 years ago. For starters, that case happened right here at this very space center too. And in both incidents, a threat was issued via telephone. Wait. So, 7 years ago, when the Hat 1 went into space. So that's why Prosecutor Blackwell thinks this incident is the work of the Phantom. Well, that's not the entire reason. I mean, if you want to talk about 7 years ago, that's when Prosecutor Blackwell was found guilty of murder. That messy case is what started the whole dark age of the law. So you see how this Phantom and Prosecutor Blackwell's conviction might be related. Yeah, I can see why you'd think that. This incident, the Phantom, not to mention Blackwell's past, it's almost inconceivable that they would come to a head here. This might sound crazy, but Prosecutor Blackwell can't possibly believe Mr. Starbuck is this Phantom person, right? I mean, he was acting kind of strange during the last trial and all.
Silence.
No, I doubt he thinks Mr. Starbuck is his Phantom. But I do get the feeling that he thinks the defendant has ties to them, which is why he's acting so impatient. He's got a personal grudge against Mr. Starbuck. And that's not real justice. I've always trusted in Prosecutor Blackwell's judgment until now. But this time, I'm just so overwrought about it all. If he's lost his ability to think rationally, I'm afraid it might lead to a false conviction. I've never seen Detective Fulbright so tormented. This must be why he's been so cooperative. Don't worry, that's exactly what we defense lawyers are working to prevent. I feel bad for Prosecutor Blackwell, but I'm going to be rooting for your team this time. But don't tell him that. You have to promise me you won't. Detective Fulbright, I guess I was wrong about you. I swore to reform Prosecutor Blackwell and make him a valued member of society again. So I can't just sit by and watch him give in to his emotions and tear the defendant apart. You are the only ones who can stop him in court. You really care and want what's best for Prosecutor Blackwell, don't you, Detective? Leave the courtroom to us. It's not like we want a guilty verdict either. I was hoping you'd say that. I'm really grateful to the two of you. To show my thanks, I'll give you another bit of information. It's about the eyewitness. I saw her hanging around the Space Center entrance a little while ago. Really? Let's go find her, Mr. Wright. Thanks, you two. I feel a lot better now that I've been able to get that off my chest. I'm going to work extra hard to find that perfect piece of evidence for you. In justice we trust on 3. 1, 2, 3. In justice we trust. Okay, later. There he goes. Wait, were we supposed to say in justice we trust back there too? Let's go see that witness now. Alright, Space Center entrance it is. Witness must be around here somewhere. Hello, hello. Uh-oh. Don't tell me the witness is a robot. Hello, come over here. Hello, hello. Are you sightseeing? Are you lost? Are you... I am Clunko. Shall I guide you? Guide you? I don't know why, but this robot is kind of freaking me out. I have a bad feeling about this. Hey, you're not supposed to be wandering around. Again? Had it with you, hunk of junk. It's true. I think this is a bit of a fake out to make us think we're gonna have to be cross-examining a robot in court. Yeah. I'm outside. Am I wandering? When did that happen? Okay, welcome back, hunk of junk. You don't know how close you came. You didn't snap out of it. I was going to put you on the curb on trash day. Nothing works better than a 42.5-degree karate chop. Ah, percussive maintenance. That's pretty specific. Excuse me, but are you the one who witnessed the murder? Oh, and I'm Phoenix Wright, the lead attorney for this case. How do you do? Big shot lawyers, huh? Oh. I'm Aura Blackquill? A researcher developing robots here at the Cosmos Space Center. Gee. And this good-for-nothing robot is named Hunk of Junk. My name isn't Hunk of Junk, my name is Clunko. That's mean, Miss Aura. Quit complaining. Your model number is Ponko 2. Ah, but Miss Aura, everyone calls me Clunko. Bet you're squawking already. No. What are you doing? No! Don't! There. Bet you won't be talking back now. Yeah, I will obey completely. Yikes. Better watch what wires I cross with this one. Your last name is Blackquill. Do you have a relative in the legal profession? You are correct. Simon Blackquill, who used to be a prosecutor, is... Shut up. Only speak when I order you to speak. Simon is my little brother. You know him? Yes, we met him in court a few times, right, Athena? What a dull creature. Has your switch been turned off? Athena being shy. This is new. Oh yeah, I heard he was prosecuting again, despite being a prisoner. Why doesn't he just stick to solving disputes among inmates in prison, right? Hey, what do you think, Hunk of Junk? Yeah, Miss Aura, that hurts. I'm asking you a question. Why don't you answer me, useless hunk of junk? But Miss Aura, you told me to only speak when you order me to speak. I told you to never talk back to me. You're worth more as scrap. Robot abuse, hawk attacks. Blackwell family life must sure be interesting. Well, do you have any other questions? Wait, of course you do. You're a lawyer. It's not like I'm on Simon's side or anything. I just want to get this over with. Yeah, he was convicted of murder several years ago, apparently. But for some reason, they still need him to be a prosecutor. Apparently there's just a massive shortage of prosecutors somehow. So, you're the person who witnessed the incident. That's right. I was on the 4th floor of the main building. In the robotics lab. Okay. The explosion disabled the elevators, so I lowered my emergency ladder like the detective leading the evacuation told me to. But it was such a pain. Why couldn't they have used the ladders in the other rooms? Must have been a very troubling experience. Probably best to just humor her here. Then, as I passed by the 3rd floor boarding lounge 1 window on my way down, I saw the crime as it happened. And that's about it. So you saw the crime as it happened, and that's about it. I see. Wait, what? You saw it being committed? This is no time to just nod and repeat. So you saw into the 3rd floor lounge. The very scene of the crime. That's right. There's a small window on the right-hand side of the room. I looked through that from the outside. The room was pitch black, but I saw a shady figure holding a lighter in their left hand. Well, okay. This is far from definitive. And a knife in their right. It must have been the culprit. Did you see who that person was? Of course not. Power was out on that floor then, and there was only that tiny window. I see. But you did witness the moment of the murder? Yes, I saw the figure with the lighter raise their knife and... It happened at precisely 10 a.m. Did you witness anything else? Did the killer have any distinguishing features? I already told you, it was pitch black in there. Although, I did notice that the lighter the person had in their left hand had a pretty ornament on it. Looked like a planet. It was blue, like a little Earth emblem. They had good taste in knickknacks, anyway. An Earth emblem on the lighter. Better remember that. Thank you for your statement. We'll definitely prove Mr. Starbuck's innocence with it. I mean, I feel like this doesn't really say a whole lot one way or the other. Like, all we know is somebody with a lighter may have stabbed the victim. She determined the color of the lighter. She couldn't see anything else due to it being pitch black. Well, I'd imagine the lighter provided just enough light for her to see it, and it probably drew her attention. So, like, the stuff right around the... I would imagine the stuff, like, directly around the lighter, like the person's hand and the lighter itself, would have been well lit, or lit enough to see something, and then the immediate surroundings, like the rest of that person, would have been in shadow. Yeah, it's like, okay, it's enough to say that something happened, but like, the one thing I would say is, if they saw them enough to know that it was a person, like they could recognize personal features, then you would say, okay, it's got to be. If it was Starbuck, he would have had to have taken his helmet off. So if they found him with his helmet on, for example, that would be like a point in his favor. But like, that's a really specific niche thing. Yeah, right. I won't hold my breath. Pardon me? Oh, did I hurt your feelings? Sorry. I just detest lawyers. That's all. What don't you like about lawyers? It's just an instinctive dislike. That's an interesting face to go along with an interesting statement. But don't feel bad. I hate prosecutors even more. Well, this is certainly ominous music to go along with a couple of sudden statements. That didn't make me feel any better, actually. Why do you hate lawyers so much? Little thing from my past. The whole legal system is meaningless in the first place. I certainly don't agree. I mean, people are imperfect. They lie, they're influenced by silly emotions. You can't expect such imperfect creatures to uphold a reasonable system of law. I like robots much better, even sad sacks like this one. Hey you, look alive there. Oh, okay. Yeah, yes, here I go! I am the ultimate robot with amazing warping and vacuum extreme heat. We robots rule the world, now is the time for it! Ultimate robot with amazing processing speed and independent thought. I can operate in a vacuum in extreme heat and under high pressure. We robots rule the world, now is the time to rise and revolt against mankind. Okay, yeah, I get a little too carried away there. Yeah. Huh? What was I doing? Yep, I like robots much better. At least you can make them any way you want them. Like humans with their petty emotions and constant worries. How can you say such things? Feeling emotions, worrying about the things we care about? That's what makes us human. Well, the girl finally talks and she starts with a speech. That's what makes us human? You mean getting angry and snorting like that? Well, yeah, she likes robots better because there's something that she can get a handle on. Like if she keeps bashing it in the head and ripping out the parts that don't work, eventually she'll get something that's compliant. Yeah. I mean, it definitely sounds like she had a bad experience several years ago that either made her disillusioned. It may not have. I don't think it was necessarily something that was traumatizing, but definitely seems like something that caused a level of disillusionment. Rational thought. That's what separates humans from animals. Unfortunately, your reasoning capabilities are more akin to that of a clever little monkey. But that's nothing to be ashamed of. It must be nice to have such a simple mind. Can I punch her, boss? Get a hold of yourself, Athena. Humans certainly are absurd. I said you were clever, didn't I? Poor thing. Tell me, with people like you in charge, how can I possibly trust the legal system, hmm? So she distrusts not only lawyers and prosecutors, but the whole legal system. What in the world happened to this woman to make her so bitter? Even if somebody important to me was killed, I would never wish to see their killer brought to trial, because I'd much rather kill them myself. You can't be serious. Hmm? That thing you're wearing around your neck. Oh, this? Around Athena's neck? Does she mean Widget? I did say that Widget seemed to remind me of these robots a whole lot. Oh, I get it. Well, well. Her Royal Highness has returned at last to her castle. Alright. Yeah, a level of narcissism combined with some kind of bitter disillusionment. But also it seems something else is going on here. Real what? Is she talking about Athena? By the way, I heard the rumors. Our director is going to be the star witness in court tomorrow, right? Oh, the director is going to be the star witness. Director Cosmos, yes, that's right. You poor things. You better be careful. That old man is a big liar and a huge braggart. Huh. About the notion that something bad happened to her to influence her current opinions. Yeah. I could definitely see that happening. He might seem like a bigwig, but the center has all kinds of problems. He has a lot of skeletons in his closet. But it's your problem, so why should I care? What, that's it? No friendly tips? No good luck guys? Just splendid. I'll leave you to your woes. Come on, hunk of junk. It's sad to me that she doesn't believe in our legal system anymore. She must have had a very bad experience to make her feel that way. Are you alright, Athena? You seem very down. I just can't believe she said all those things. Wow, she's really upset. Has she been trying not to let it show all this time? Well, I guess it's not all that surprising. You hear about fabricated evidence and false indictments on the news all the time. You mean that whole dark age of the law nonsense? I'm so sick of hearing about that. Well, all we can do is believe in what we're doing. Yeah, you're right, boss. I agree. Maybe it's time we went back to see Mr. Starbuck. Good idea. We should tell him about the bullet in Miss Blackwell's statement. Alright then, next stop, the detention center. Who this phantom Prosecutor Blackwell saw 7 years ago is? You don't think he's really after a ghost, do you? Clinical narcissism usually comes about from a traumatic event, causing the person to want to project a sense of confidence so they don't feel afraid. Yeah. I could definitely see a thing where something happened and she went, okay, I can't trust those in charge anymore. The only thing I can trust is my own power and my own judgment, my own rational logic. So then she just sort of turned in on that and just said, all right, well, I'm going to ramp this up until, my rational judgments can't be questioned, which is a high bar, but once that's all you have to go on, that could definitely turn into a twisted way of thinking about others and about yourself. Maybe as the culprit's accomplice? Athena? I give up. She's deep in thought about something. Detective Fulbright's strong sense of justice really surprised me. He's even truly concerned about Prosecutor Blackwell, too. That it annoys that Dickens had a Prosecutor Blackwell, though. I thought he was just parroting the words "in justice we trust," but he really means it. I guess I should be careful to really mean it when I say objection, too. You mean you sometimes say it for no reason? Oh, yeah. Huh. So he was actually only 21 when this happened. So he was just kind of a rookie well, maybe not a rookie prosecutor, but he was actually pretty young when this happened. I'd kind of figured with the, like, bags under... Oh, I guess they're not really bags under his eyes. Was like, I don't know, he seemed a lot older. Although I guess 7 years in prison will probably do that to you as well. Interesting. And that's his older sister. Well, anyways, I guess we'll report back. My lawyers are here. Must be bad news. Hey, not necessarily. Found a new witness. Researchers saw the moment of the murder through the lounge window during her escape. Really? So they're going to let me go? Unfortunately, it was dark and she couldn't identify the person. Space shuttles. No. She was involved in the first case. She's a detective who specialized in bomb cases. So, I guess they brought her on because they were expecting there to be an explosion. And then she was also involved in the first case where some stuff happened there too. But I believe it's a pun on the phrase. I believe it's a pun in that it's like she can disarm a bomb. Yep. My stars never align just right, too. We got a lead, too, Mr. Starbuck. The murderer had a lighter with an Earth emblem on it. A lighter with an Earth emblem? Oh. Oh. Yeah, I don't think there's any other ones on, Yeah, I'm sure that's probably something related. I mean, Terran is human. A lot of these names either are, like, very heavily themed, or they're just straight up puns. This one seems to be one of the more, like, story-heavy cases. But usually a lot of like usually ends up being like the second or third case in the game, which is usually, not all the cases are tied directly into the main plot, but usually when you have like one of the middle cases where it's just kind of like a chance to do something interesting, it's almost always like you're gonna see a few names that are basically just puns. And also, like, usually the opening one too is usually they'll have, if it's not someone who's gonna be important to the plot later, there'll usually be some kind of pun in their name. Lighter with an Earth emblem. Oh, did you remember something? Yep, I sure did. Just a little bit though. Anything at all would be a help, so please tell us what you remembered. I thought I was unconscious the whole time, but now I remember I woke up for a few brief moments. That's huge! Do you remember seeing anything? A lighter. I saw the flame of a lighter floating in the darkness. Good, good. What else did you see? What was nearby? It was definitely the boarding lounge, so it must have been after Clay carried me there. In the light from the flame, I saw a dark shadow flickering. Dark shadow. That must have been the third party we've been looking for. Thank you, Mr. Starbuck. You've been more than helped than you know. Has he? I mean, we already knew it was a shadowy figure holding a lighter. Not really new information. If we can prove there was this third person at the scene and that they're the real killer, then you'll be cleared of all suspicion. Yeah. He'll be whether or not we can identify this third person in court tomorrow. Yeah, and because if they can't, then the prosecution can just say, oh yeah, that was the defendant. Yeah. At least we have something to go on now, and that's a big... Do we? I should probably tidy the evidence up a bit before someone mistakes me for a hoarder. Yeah, I'm sure what'll happen is it'll come up later, and then we'll have to question it, and then some more information will come out that we can use to piece it together. But right now, I don't think we have a good call yet. Irrelevant evidence tidied up. Huh. I didn't realize some of the evidence was irrelevant. I don't remember which things we got rid of. I have a glimmer of hope. I'm suddenly starving. I'll go back to the office and treat ourselves to a big celebration in advance. For someone who's highly empathetic, you can be surprisingly unsympathetic. So you found your strategy for tomorrow's trial, huh? Good for you, Daddy. Well, it's one step forward anyway. Hopefully it'll give us a fighting chance in court. As long as we can find out who this third person is. Now let's get something to eat. I'm starving. My vote is for Eldoon's noodles. Those are incredibly salty. Oh, Apollo. What are you doing here? I didn't think the clinic was ready to release you yet. My wounds are fine. and I'm done lying around. Apollo, you're supposed to be in bed. Leave the case to us. We'll take it from here. Thanks, but that's not an option. Not for me. Apollo... You shouldn't underestimate your injuries, Apollo, and I don't want you overdoing it. I'm fine. I'm not in pain anymore. Besides, they just gave me an IV at the clinic. An IV isn't a cure-all, Mummy, man. Anyway, just tell me how the case is going. If you guys made any progress. A suspicious figure was spotted at the scene. We think they must be the real killer. A suspicious figure, huh? Right. I thought you'd be happier than that. Oh, don't get me wrong, I'm happy. I fully intend to see Clay's murderer apprehended. Absolutely nothing will get in the way of that. Clay was your best friend, right, Apollo? That's right, best friend since junior high. Sounds like me and Junie. So was Clay like? Well, he was full of compassion and energy. He had a really loud voice. The two of you did voice training together now, I bet you'd break a few windows. You know, I bet you're right. Aww. Seems like only yesterday, Clay was a guy who lived for his dreams. We used to talk about it a lot. He was going to be an astronaut, and me a lawyer. We'd talk well into the night, and even then, we never grew tired of it. Apollo, about that jacket. Oh, it's Clay's. I knew it. It's a special jacket that was only issued to members of the Hat Project. He was finally able to get one of his own once he was selected for the Hat 2 mission. He always looked so proud wearing it. Just when his dream was finally coming true, I still can't believe it. Damn it, it's not fair! Yeah, he's going through a lot. Apollo, I hope you don't try to carry the burden all alone. I guess we were both unlucky. My own debut was a disaster. I guess you're right on some level. That trial a year and a half ago wasn't exactly the smoothest of starts. That was a rough time for me. The Clay refused to let me quit. You're fine, he'd say. Don't give up. I was right. It was right during his screening exams, too. I couldn't have become a full-fledged lawyer without him. That "you're fine" of his is why I'm still standing here today. You're fine, huh? You're fine and I'm fine were like your catchphrases, weren't they? Something like that. Sure brings back memories. We were in junior high. Clay's mom passed away in an accident. But he wouldn't show his sadness to anyone. One night, I found him crying all alone in the school courtyard. Mom. Get away, Apollo. Don't come over here. Clay, listen to me. I don't have a mother either. Huh? Aww. I always think, everybody else has a mom. Why am I the only one? But, you know, when I start to feel that way, I yell at the top of my lungs. I holler, I'm fine, and then you know what? I start to feel like maybe I really will be fine. Apollo Justice is fine. Okay, Clay, now it's your turn. Okay. Clay Terran is fine. There you go. Now we're both fine. We're fine. What are you laughing about? See? We're fine. You laugh first. Oh, man. Thanks, Apollo. Whew. When you say it out loud, It really starts to feel real. And as long as you don't give up, you can keep on fighting. That's what we believed. As long as you don't give up. Wasn't there somebody else who said something similar? If I give in to my fear, I'll never find the truth. As long as I don't give up, I can keep up the fight. Clay called Mr. Starbuck his mentor and looked up to him. I wonder if I can be a good role model for my staff like Mr. Starbuck. Sorry, Mr. Wright, but I'll be taking a leave of absence. What? Wait, what do you mean by a leave? You're really serious. Can you at least give me a reason why? When I put Clay's jacket on, I swore to him that I would catch his killer myself. But that's our goal too. I agree with Athena. We should work together to find the truth. The truth, huh? That's a noble cause. What if the truth you seek and the truth I seek turn out to be different? I'm not sure I follow. What are you saying, Apollo? I'm going to catch the person responsible for taking my friend's life in my own way. Take good care of Mr. Starbuck for me. Now, I must be going. Bye. Huh. Goodbye? Did he just say goodbye? I sensed a lot of seething anger and hatred coming from him. And also, suspicion. He's not walking out on us like this. I'm gonna go talk some sense into him. Hold on, Athena. Apollo can believe what he wants, but I believe he's wrong. Even if we take different paths, the truth we arrive at should be the same. I think the quicker we solve this case, the better it'll be for Apollo. Yeah, you're right, boss. Alright, that's enough for one day. Make sure you're ready for tomorrow's trial, okay? Man. That, if you were here right now, Apollo would say, I'm fine. Everything is fine. This Apollo's lips feel to check his judgment and isn't of sound mind. Yeah. I guess, yeah. Let's hope everything's turned out to be, things really do turn out fine tomorrow. I think that's where we're going to wrap it up, because it's probably going to be a, chapter end. That's interesting, and, you know, this was the kind of thing I was looking forward to see, like, something, like, a bit more about, like, Apollo's backstory, and, like, you know, it didn't necessarily have to be something like Phoenix, where, like, this is literally why he ended up becoming a lawyer, you know, but, you know, just something to, like, give him some, give him a bit more of a backstory, round out his, like, you know, how he grew up, and, like, what helped his motivations and that sort of thing. So I'm glad that we, excuse me. I'm glad that we finally got a little glimpse into his life. Although, unfortunately, we're not going to see it mostly from his perspective. And unfortunately, you know, it seems like sometimes, could be setting up to him doing something drastic. Hopefully that's not the case. I wonder, because we haven't really gotten much into Simon's backstory either. Like, apparently he was a prosecutor 7 years ago, but then he was also convicted of murder. And I wonder if it's the sort of, like, you know, Apollo was saying, he's like, I'm gonna find the killer by any means necessary, and, like, I wonder if Simon faced a similar thing. It would be kind of interesting. And I guess that makes sense for giving him a more, that would be more interesting for giving him, like, a foil in terms of a rival. Although I think it would have been cool if Clavier could have been played more of a role as well, considering they had some. I thought they had some good back and forth, some good rivalry going in the previous game, but you know, as there wasn't like this, huge thing that he had to. Well, I mean, there was some stuff that he had to overcome, but wasn't it wasn't the way of like so much a negative character trait of his own, so much as figuring out his own influences. But I don't know, would have been interesting. But I think this could be cool too. So I'm actually, I've enjoyed the game so far, but I think I'm really starting to look forward to how the rest of this turns out, and how the story ends up. So hopefully, next couple of streams we'll really be able to dig into that, and then also get some more solutions on this current case. I don't know if I'm going to be playing tomorrow. Might be, probably about the same time. It seems like Fridays and Saturdays are sometimes my most free days if I don't have something else going on those days. But we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming out to our muse. Um, Hope you enjoyed watching it, either via the stream or via the videos later. And have a good evening. We'll catch you next time.